Out of the 16 plus years I have been on the Roblox platform, so the most fun that I've ever had on Roblox has actually come within the last week playing the new enforcement testing grounds on Roblox. And I'm actually really sad that the testing is coming to an end. I don't know what I'm going to do, man. I've been playing this game and grinding it so much. Hopefully we'll see the full release very soon. Anyways, if you don't know what enforcement is, it is a game being worked on by some of the Roblox Arsenal developers slash Rolv. The game is no longer being considered a Rolv game because Dev Rolv, who is now going by the name of Spaceman Igloo, is leaving Rolv and he's taking on this project with a few of the Rolv developers, but as its own game and under its own name now. I'm not going to get into all that stuff. In this video, we're strictly going to be talking about enforcement, what I like about the game, what needs some work, and just some facts about the game and stuff like that. So yeah, if you haven't seen my video on enforcement, it is pretty much a new FPS game on the Roblox platform that is kind of like Call of Duty, but being worked on again by some of the Rolv developers. And so far, it has been incredible. The testing has averaged around 200 to 350 players each day and around like 140 to 170-ish in the evenings. And that's at nighttime in the US. So still pretty good in a very consistent player count, considering that this game has no advertising for it yet. The only advertisement that it's pretty much received is a few YouTube videos that some YouTubers have uploaded on it and just some announcements on Discord. So that's a pretty good player count for this game not really being talked about or known. The game currently is sitting at a 74% rating on Roblox, which on Steam would be considered mostly positive, which is actually pretty good for a testing slash beta game. And by the release, a lot of the bugs and issues people have been having with the game should be fixed. So I'm expecting the ratings of this game to hopefully go up and to see it be, you know, more in the 80-90%. But yeah, I would say that even though that rating is still pretty good, talk about the game has been kind of mixed. I've seen some YouTubers and some other players in the game just saying the game is Call of Duty, and if they really want to play Call of Duty, they could just go play Call of Duty, which makes sense. I can't disagree with that statement, but what makes this game so unique is the dev team behind it. The Arsenal developers and now the people that are working on this game are very passionate, especially about this project from what I've seen. And sure, you can go play Call of Duty, but for this being a Roblox game and bringing the FPS genre in a game like this to Roblox is pretty unique and exciting for a lot of people to experience an FPS type game like this. And personally, I think a game like this will definitely expand the competitive scene of Roblox FPS games. And sure, you might think it's still not a very unique concept or anything, but you got to remember too, games like Phantom Forces, Bad Business, and Roblox Arsenal were all somewhat based off of another FPS game and then slowly take shape into their own unique concept than the games that they were based off of. Especially like Roblox Arsenal, it started off very similar to Counter-Strike gun game, and now it has taken shape into something that is still a gun game, but a Roblox game and a very unique and fun concept that a lot of people love. But we just got to give it time. I mean, this was literally a week of a testing environment and a beta game, okay? So like, give us some time. I'm sure there's going to be some more cool and unique things on this game. But anyways, let's go ahead and just talk about the game itself a little bit, and let's go ahead and start with some of the goods of the game and some of the things that I like about the game. So far, I think the gunplay is fantastic. The gunplay feels super clean. Latency doesn't seem to be a huge issue for the game. There's a lot of trading, I noticed. Like, you can deal the same amount of damage as someone that you're fighting, and you guys just trade, which never really happened in Roblox Arsenal. And although it's kind of annoying sometimes to trade, at least you're still getting that kill and you're not just dying after nailing somebody with a bunch of shots. And I mean, the gunplay though, is just, it feels good. It feels good and it's fun. And that's what kept me coming back to this testing place. I wanted to keep playing it. I wanted to keep experiencing the gunplay because it's just a lot of fun and it's smooth and it just feels good, especially for a Roblox FPS game. I could definitely see 1v1s in this game going pretty well in the future, and a lot of people starting to do competitive play and to do competitive 1v1 type videos or competitions in this game because the gunplay just feels that good. I can definitely see this game building up a more competitive side once it fully releases, and I could see some really cool tournaments and 1v1s and such things like that happening in the future. Now, another great thing about this game is it's just testing, and there are already a ton of weapons and attachments, with the leveling and unlock system already feeling pretty good and rewarding. And I'm excited to see the possibility maybe of like a prestige system in the future. That'd be cool. And and what new weapons and attachments they're going to add in the future. But so far, there is a good variety of stuff here and a lot that they can continue to build off of. And every weapon that I have played with so far in the game has felt unique. I've gotten to play through a lot of the weapons so far, and they feel all very good and very fun to use. So I'm excited to see what new weapons and attachments come out when the game releases and through updates in the future. Another thing this game does pretty good are the kill streaks. I know a lot of games on Roblox that do a kill streak system. The kill streaks always seem to fail to be usable or to feel smooth or to feel good. I feel like the only game that has really had good kill streaks for a Roblox FPS scene has been Gunfight Arena, and that's just more of a recent FPS game. Not a lot of Roblox FPS games have done the kill streak system, and if they have, they haven't really done it good. And Enforcement has done it very well, and all the kill streaks feel pretty good. Now, I will say care packages at the moment feel pretty useless because they take so much time to actually land, and they only give you ammo at the moment. So hopefully care packages actually have some more use to them after the game releases. Like, it'll actually give you like a random kill streak like it does in Call of Duty, but I can kind of see why they don't do that right now because there's only so many kill streaks. But I hope by the time the game actually releases, we have a handful more of kill streaks to use. I also think a really good aspect of the game so far are the maps, and I know some people will disagree with me because of the spawns, but taking out the spawns, the maps themselves feel very unique and good to play on, and I actually really like the concepts of a lot of the maps. A lot of them feel like something new and something that hasn't been done in other FPS games, and it looks like they're actually taking the time to like make unique and new concepts for maps, which is pretty hard to do in the FPS scene. But all these maps so far work very well, and a lot of them aren't even finished yet, and they're still a lot of fun to play on. So I'm excited to see as these maps actually progress and become more of a polished, finished product. I would say my favorite map at the moment is probably either the market map or that street map with the tall buildings. I don't remember what that one's called, but those maps always get a vote. Love playing on them. All right, so let's move into some of the bad stuff of the game that I've noticed so far. I can't really punch the game in the gut too much for some of these bad things because, again, the game is testing and it's still like a beta phase. But like I was saying with the maps, the spawns, man, the spawns are not the greatest. However, they have already improved them since day one of testing. They've already released a few patches to fix the spawns, and they've already gotten better, but they can still use some work, and they're still pretty janky, and I do get spawn killed, or I happen to spawn kill enemies quite a lot. And there's also a spawn visual bug I've noticed lots of times where after you kill an enemy, you can kind of see, like, for a split second, their character fly through the air into a direction, and wherever that direction is that they fly into is pretty much them respawning in. So you have an idea of where they're spawning in at. You could just run over there real quick and kill them again because they don't know that you know where they spawn. That definitely needs to get fixed because that is a disadvantage for the person you just killed to just keep getting spawn killed. And besides that, the spawn system, I think, just needs a bigger radius. Like, it does try to find the furthest spawn away from people. Still a little janky. I think it can use some work, and I'm sure that's going to be fixed up even more by the time the game releases. Next up is the movement. Now, I can't say the movement is necessarily a bad thing. I actually really like the movement in this game, and I prefer this basic styled movement. I don't really love the new Call of Duties with the tactical sprinting. I love the more classic, just running, sprinting that the old Call of Duties had. And I also can't say that I love like the crazy movement style that Phantom Forces and Bad Business have, where you can like launch yourself super far and you can sprint around and do donuts around people, and you can run insanely fast, and it's just really hard to hit person when they're running around like that. I feel like the game for the blocky characters has a really good and balanced movement, but there are some things that can use some work. Mainly, I would say with the dolphin diving. The dolphin diving can feel good at some points depending on where you're jumping from. It seems like there's some physics or momentum behind it, because if I'm jumping from off a building, I'm going to be able to dive further. But if I'm just jumping and trying to dive behind cover in front of me, it can feel very just like useless because you're not really making much progress when you dive, and the diving just feels very weak. The other thing about the movement is I feel like sometimes trying to climb on top of some of the boxes in the maps, or even trying to climb in through a broken window, is very janky. I feel like the character player boxes might be either too big or I'm just fat. I don't know, but like every time I try to go through a broken window, I either end up bonking my head or getting stuck on the bottom of it, and I can't really hop over the ledge. I think that this could be fixed if the game had more of like a vaulting system where you can vault over certain objects, or just maybe whatever like the invisible box around the player is, kind of like the hitbox, if that can kind of collide through windows and entryways a little bit better, I think that definitely help. Next up is, I feel like some of the weapons still need quite a bit of balancing. Some weapons just either feel so slow or hardly do enough damage where they just feel pretty useless to use them. A lot of the weapons feel good and feel unique in their own way, but some of them just feel like, why would I use this if I can use this other weapon that's like 100 times better? And I know they can't make every single weapon in this game good, but they could make some of the weapons more skillful. Like if they aren't going to do a ton of damage or have a huge fire rate, like the M16, for example, doesn't really do enough damage or have a good fire rate. They could take the M16 in this game and maybe give it a better headshot multiplier, because when I'm nailing headshots, it still feels too slow and it feels too useless to actually get kills with. So if there's more like headshot multipliers or body multipliers or stuff like that, then I should be getting multipliers for that damage. So some of these weapons that aren't really that great at the moment can actually have a purpose for the more skillful players. But another thing with the weapons is riot shields. They're fun, but they're very OP, I feel like, at the moment. I think they need a little bit of a balance, or they need to be like shrunk a little bit so you can actually see the enemy's like feet or like their shoulders or something, because right now they're really hard to shoot around. Another not so great thing about this game is there's already been a few hackers, which I know is a pretty difficult thing for the devs to address, but I think Roblox Bifron is definitely working its magic, because I think this game would definitely be more infested with hackers if that wasn't in place. I'm sure the devs will do as much as they can, but that's kind of a hard battle because of what Roblox offer you for that kind of thing. But yeah, I can't really say there's too much bad. I know I listed quite a few things here, but a lot of these things I know will probably be fixed up by the time the game releases. So moving forward, I want to give a list of some things I'd love to see in this game, and I don't know if the developers are already planning some of these things, just some things that I think would make this game even better than it already is. First off, a lot more kill streaks. I'm sure this is already in the works, but they could come up with so many unique ideas that are just fun to use kill streaks, and even like goofy ones if people want them. More game modes. Again, this is probably also in the works, but I would love to see game modes like domination, search and destroy, one in the chamber, gun game mode, kind of like Arsenal, but with the enforcement weapons and systems, and a competitive or ranked mode would also be awesome and would be great, again, for the future for tournaments and 1v1 type things. Team only voice chat. This would be great, especially if there are like search and destroy modes and stuff like that. And then a global voice chat in between rounds or in the lobby of the game. Yell at your enemy and then you can communicate with your teammate. Unique red dots. Call of Duty has always had those like custom reticles you could get. Like I could be shooting someone with a bunny reticle or like a circle reticle, you know, that type of thing. If we had some unique red dots that we can customize our sights with, that'd be cool. A good settings menu. Again, this is probably not in the game right now because it's still like a testing game, but I'd love to be able to adjust the menu volume, the in-game volume, possibly its own in-game sensitivity. I know Roblox already has a sensitivity system, but if you could adjust it even further in the game, that'd be great. I'd love to see a way to turn off textures like Arsenal has, an FOV slider, a crosshair customizer, kind of like Valorant's, where it's like pretty complex. You can make stuff that you want. Next up, a stats area in the profile page where you can see your lifetime KD ratio, your total kills, deaths, objectives taken, your win-loss ratio. I'd also love to see a shop in this game for customization, weapon skins, more custom reticles, more profile banners, logos, and more character skins and items to customize your character and your weapons. Go crazy with the customization. And if they add this stuff, I would also like to see trading in the future for weapon skins and cosmetics. Another thing is I would love to see community Easter egg hunts, just like how Arsenal had the monkey skin hunt and other events that the devs put in the game. I think enforcement would do really good if there was stuff like this, and it would also get the game popping. And finally, if they did have a zombies mode like the actual Call of Duty does, that'd be really cool to see a round-based zombie mode in enforcement or a secondary enforcement game. Enforcement, the gunplay and the systems in the game already feel really good, so I could see a zombie mode doing doing really good with their systems in place. But anyways, that's enough of me blabbing on about enforcement. This game has been a lot of fun so far. I've spent so much time over the last week on it. Really sad that the testing is coming to an end, but I'm excited for the full release of this game soon. And if you guys are as well, make sure to drop a like on this video, subscribe for some more future enforcement videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for listening.